I do know what I was going to do tonight, specifically.
Throw things?
Tonight, specifically, I was going to go live, go, it was fucking shit, and turn it off again. Then I would wait a minute, just for effect. I don't even want to put that level of effort into being funny about it.
It wouldn't have been a lie, though, would it?
It wouldn't have been a lie. Good evening, you wonderful human beings. Thank you so much for joining us on the Saints Network podcast, your weekly dose of all things Southampton and sometimes the wider championship. And I said it a few times, and I'll say it again tonight. It's getting difficult to do the show. Not because I don't want to do the show, not because I don't want to sit here and talk about football. And actually, normally, at the end of it, I feel a little bit better for a bit of a rant if it's negative, or, you know, we've had some positive moments this season. But it is, in fact, getting difficult because what I like is coming onto a show when we've got lots of exciting things to talk about, things that are different, things that have changed, things that went well, things that went bad. What I don't like doing essentially is coming back in week out and saying the same things over and over and over again. And what annoys me is why does two fat lads from Southampton who've never managed a football team before seem to be able to know what's going on? Because if we talk to the wider football world,
hang on, two fat lads.
All right, okay, thanks. I know I'm not overweight, but I didn't want you to be on your own over there.
Right.
So if you talk to the wider fan base, right, what gets me is if you talk to the wider fan base, I think that for the most part, most people would say basically the same things.
Of course they would. Everyone's been on the same page. You watch content with us. You watch Phil Martin, Jimmy. Everyone said the same thing. And
what annoys me then is how is it so wrong at the club?
Well,
now there's a word I use on the thumbnail, and I think at the moment it is ultimately very accurate. Rotten.
Yes.
I currently feel like the club is rotten to the core at the moment. And I had a conversation with Ian, who sits behind us yesterday, and he said, so what's wrong? Is it the players? Is it the management? Is it the board? Surely it's not all of it. And I'm like, but it is.
It is everything.
It is everything. Now, I will add, I have a level of sympathy and a level of tolerance for Tondeur, right? He got bought in to be the under-21's manager. I don't think he anticipated being the first team coach within the first year. He's young. He is just another mouthpiece. He's just another puppet.
He's just a puppet, yeah.
So are the managers. And when you look at the fact that since Sport Republic took over just over 4 years ago, we have had Hassan Hootel, followed by Sellers, followed by Nathan Jones, followed by Russell Martin, followed by Ivan Juric, Simon Rusk kind of sprinkled in there as well, followed by Will Steele and now Tondeur. That many managers, all of which are a bit different and bring something different. I don't think you can blame the management at this point. You can blame the appointment of the management. That's a wider issue.
I think you can blame the management, but we'll get onto that in a minute.
But if we look at yesterday's performance, if we can call it that, for these so-called professional footballers who are paid a significant amount of money, some of them get paid in a week, what some of us only dream of seeing in a year. I think we do need to look at the club's recruitment. We do need to look at the management staff, etc. There's an interesting point on Eckart's press conference that Ash picked up on, and maybe we're reading too much into this, but I think we can absolutely look at the players. And the thing that really gets me is that there was a series of exceptional performances when Tonda first took over as interim manager with the same group of players. In fact, no, not even the same group of players we've got now, because we've got players coming back from injury. Logically speaking, with Ulert back, Shea Charles back in training, Ross Stewart back, logically speaking, we're stronger than when he took over.
Yep.
And the performances are worse. English. They're worse. So Ash and I were obviously at the whole game yesterday. If you were there, please let us know what you think. I think I could probably get a good idea what you all think. But we played Hull City, and I naively, even to this day, go into every football game at the club in the Championship and think it's a winnable game. Every game, honestly. And I also personally believe, and no disrespect to any Hull fans who are in the chat, if any are, who were there yesterday or followed Hull, I'm really yet to see a team turn up, an opposition team turn up at St Mary's that's really impressed me.
Let's get that bit out of the way, because there are a few Hull fans that I know that will end up watching tonight. So fair play, you did a job, you got the 3 points, good luck for the rest of the season. Right, we're done, let's move on.
When we say what we're about to say, people always take it as a personal attack that they were rubbish and how did we lose them. I'm not saying they were rubbish. They did exactly what they needed to do.
I don't think they were overly impressive.
No, and I agree with you. But ultimately, what did they walk away with that we didn't? 3 points.
Yep.
Right? 3 points they walked away with and we didn't. And I think that's the important part. I think fair play. You did what you needed to do. You came away with 3 points. What got me was that. Where do I start at? This is my problem. I normally I know how I'm going to structure the show. I don't know where to start.
You should have bought one of those urban dictionaries that gives you new different ways of just saying the word shit.
I just don't know how. I
start with the starting lineup.
So we went away in the FA Cup, as you guys know, and we started with 4 at the back. And I was like, finally. In fact, let's start before the starting lineup. Let's start the press conference. I thought, finally, 4 at the back, brilliant. Thank God we finally realised that we need another person in midfield so we can overload that midfield, so we can have more creative outlets, so that we can have 3 people perhaps playing behind the striker rather than just the 2 that are kind of too wide. Because ultimately what we were doing is essentially playing with 7 defenders. I thought, fuck, finally. And then we conceded a couple of goals in a cup game to a team that's the league below us, and he reverted to a back 5. And I was like, anyway, whatever, fine. So you found the thing that means you're so creative you score 3 goals and then you change it. Stupid idea. My personal opinion. And then he was asked at a press conference. Now, if you ever watch the press conferences, they're normally sort of split into 2 halves. You get for the first half of the press conference normally is where Adam Blackmore gets to ask him questions, and he asks him what his favourite unicorn is.
What's his mother's maiden name?
Yep. What did you have for breakfast today? All the really good football punditry comments. And then Alfie, who is the lead reporter for Saints for the Daily Echo, he asks more difficult questions. He's also on the Total Saints podcast. Big shout out to those guys. If you ever get the chance to watch another football podcast apart from us, go check out Total Saints podcast, as well as all the other people Ash mentioned before, Football Martin and Jimmy Cheese and stuff.
Both in the chat tonight.
Yeah, lovely human beings. He did a press conference. Alfie asked more difficult questions, and he asked about the 5 at the back. And I don't remember the word for word. Have you got it written down still, or you did have it written down?
It was something along. He backtracked very quickly afterwards, but it's something along the lines of, "I'm not the one that wants to be playing 3 at the back," and then basically turned around and said that the reason that we're doing it is because we've got the squad for it.
Right. So essentially said he doesn't want to do it, but it's what we're set up to do with the players available, right? And I think there was a bit of a Freudian slip there. I think he's basically come out and gone, "It's not my choice," which would indicate that perhaps certain individuals in the club have got more fingers in pies than they should have.
But I think we kind of know that. And interestingly, I'm going to say this right now because it's on my mind and I'm going to forget. There's someone that I know who will remain nameless because they've asked to be remain nameless, but they do a lot of work in the footballing world, and they got talking to a scout who basically said that Rasmus Ankerson's got his hands in all of this in terms of being involved in. He's involved in transfers for all 3 of the clubs that are going on at the moment. Obviously, Goalkeeper are doing quite well, but Valencia and France are doing absolutely terrible. He's still overseeing. We know. I think. So let me start that. I think it's clear to see if Tonda is going to carry on playing the way he's playing, then it's clear that he's being told to. Because no one with any sense of intelligence will keep doing this. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Which ultimately is what we've been doing, right?
Yeah.
This is the problem. So what happened, and maybe, just maybe, the start to Tonda's tenure has actually done him a negative, because obviously we played 7 games, 1-6, right?
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? 7 games, 1-6 at the start. And I think maybe that was him going, cool, so this system obviously works. Because we played 7, 1-6. Obviously works. So now what he's doing is he's doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again because it worked before, potentially also because he's being told to. And I think this is one of the problems in wider football right now. And I spoke about this a bit briefly yesterday, but it's potentially the same issue that Maresca's had at Chelsea. It's potentially the same issue that Amarim's had at Manchester United. And these people want to come in and manage. They want to be the manager. It's what it always used to be when we were kids. And I know it sounds like back in my day, I get it. When we were kids, it used to be the manager. The manager was in charge. He made the decisions. But it was, right, ultimately.
Well, you can even include Oliver Glasner in that at the moment, can't you?
And nowadays, we don't have managers, do we? We have head coaches. And Tonda Eka is a head coach, which would indicate that the club's going, you're not the manager, you're not in fucking charge. And I think that's concerning, if I'm honest. I think that's part of the problem.
Oh, it's 100%
because at the same time, if the manager's not the manager, if the manager's the head coach, he's just the head coach, I think there's a degree of there's a problem where there could be a lack of respect from players. Well, you're not the manager, you're not in charge.
I think that is, you say I think that's a problem, and we'll get on to the wider game and what happened afterwards and stuff yesterday, but I think that is a clear situation going on.
So we line up, right? The lineup is, if we're going to play 5 at the back, I think the lineup is probably as strong as we can expect right now, with the exception of maybe Shay Charles, who's supposed to be back in the matchday squad for Wednesday. So it was what you would anticipate. There was Manning at the back. I want to talk about him a lot, actually. We had Kwashi in for Jack Stevens, which I think is the right call. We had Taylor and Nathan Wood, opinions on Wood, and then we had Tom Fellows as the right wing back. We then had Casper Yander and Flynn Downs in the middle. We had Finn Azaz and Leo Cienza up top, and then we had right up front in the 9 position was Adam Armstrong. I think for that formation, it's probably the best we have on paper if everyone's playing at their game. The issue I'm finding is at the moment is we are so mentally weak. We have such a lack of resilience that whatever's going on there at the moment, the players are not playing at full capacity. They're not playing at 100%. They're not even giving it their all. They're not. It's very, very clear that they're not giving it their all. That's a fact. Because they're second to every ball. They look like a daisical. They look lethargic. They don't look interested. They don't look interested at all. That was the lineup. The only real change, obviously, Peretz is in goal because Gavin Bazuni's fucked off to Stoke, where he kept a clean sheet.
Yep.
Just to throw that one out there. Oh, Ronnie Edwards went to QPR. Kept a clean sheet.
He didn't play though. Oh no, he did play at the weekend actually.
Don Ballard, the academy talent.
Don't get me started.
Played at Orient at the weekend. Perfect hat trick. Left foot, right foot header.
Top goal scorer in League One at the moment. If you watch, a lot of people watch Football Martin's content just like I do. There was a big conversation about it in the week as well.
Anyway, it started off a bit meh. I think it's fair to say,
bit meh, yeah.
Bit bitty, bit meh, bit kind of all over the place. You know, I'm not filled with confidence with it. Never. I don't like the formation, and I typically find at the moment that the formation has the same problems that we say every single fucking week, and that is specifically in the middle third of the park, specifically in our attacking middle third of the park. We don't have anything. We don't have anything. Finn Azaz isn't what you would call a battler. Cienza sits too wide and is too weak on the ball for the most part. Mm-hmm. And his confidence is obviously clearly also in the toilet because he won't even take on a man anymore.
Nope.
He just won't. So what we have is Armour's up there on his own, and we've got 5 defenders and 2 central defensive midfielders passing it around.
Yep.
And then Armour stands there and goes,
cheers, lads.
That's what happens. That's the game. That's it. Quite literally. So we didn't really threaten, and I'll talk about chances created in a moment because that really fucked me off yesterday. But Hull get a goal. Guess what? Knocking it about the back.
Well, let's be honest, right? Let's just wing it back a bit. Before that, there was a warning sign, wasn't there? We had Boss to play for the first 5 or 6 minutes. So there's a couple of half chances, nothing major. They get the ball out wide, they whip across in, and I can't remember who had the header, but Peretz made an absolutely fantastic save.
He does make a good save, yeah.
It's such a good save, and I think that is...
I'll be honest with you, Bazuni would have let that in, probably.
Probably, but, well, actually, no, to be fair, Bazuni probably would have saved that and then let in an easier one.
Yeah, fair.
They get that, and I know I'm gonna sit on your parade here. Liam didn't see the first goal for Hull because he was having a wee-wee.
Oh, I went to get some chicken.
Oh, that was it. Sorry,
I was so fucking bored. I went to get some chicken.
He got chicken. You came back up with chicken. It smelled really nice, actually. But it's typical. I said to you when you came up. It's typical Russ Martin. It's Russ Martin's Rust Ball. It's passed around.
When I was down getting my chicken, I heard the light cheer, which obviously isn't us, and I was like, I'm not surprised. And then Paddy came down, Ian Snipper came down, and was like, fucking pass around the back. They've scored.
Ryan Manning gives the ball away. It goes through to, I think it's Ollie McBurney, and Peretz comes out and tries to put him off. It breaks. And obviously, as you would imagine in this situation, every single Southampton player has stood there looking at him, and Carl Joseph, to be fair to him, takes one touch, and rather than try and place it, he just buries it.
Yeah.
Good goal. It's not a good goal. It's a horrible goal to concede. It's a pathetic goal to concede. Obviously, Ryan Manning just sort of stands there and bends over and, oh, fuck, and everyone else just, oh, shit, excuse my language. Actually, I don't care tonight. I'm going to probably swear a lot more, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry, Mum. But I'm going to... It was stupid and it was crap. And then we conceded, and then we kind of had a few more chances. And for the first 5 minutes after we conceded, we looked like we wanted to actually go and give it a bit of fight, and we had a few chances. There was that little goalmouth scramble, which eventually got put wide. Armin missed sort of like a one-on-one.
Sort of.
There was, I think, if I remember rightly, Teo Harbour-Bellis stung the keeper's palms from actually running into space. He had some space and actually ran into it. It's amazing what happens when that happens. And then we had a succession of corners, which were all shit, and they did the same thing every single one. Put it high, straight on the keeper's head. Brilliant. And then Hull get a corner. And if anyone who watches any content with Hull content creators, because I watched the Build Up, Football Martin's channel, for example, he did a great one with a guy from To Hull and Back. Great name for a podcast. And he said, we're rubbish from corners. We never score from corners. Roll up Dr. Southampton.
And a pathetically weak effort from Nathan Wood.
He just falls over.
He's just not strong enough. He's just not strong enough. I often struggle to look at Nathan Wood, Taylor Howard-Bellis, Joshua Kwashi, and look at those three and go, how are we being beaten in the air?
Every time.
How are we being beaten in the air there?
Every time.
It's unreal. That, and I think at that point, if we're honest, and I think rightly so, the crowd turned a bit. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to hold my hands up and be very, very blunt about this. I don't think it turned as nasty as it maybe could or should have.
I don't think it was loud enough.
I don't think it was. And it got in places. It got a bit loud enough. There was a specific moment where it got really fucking loud. But honestly, and I say this as a long-term Saints fan, I don't like booing players. I don't like booing the manager. I will on occasion. I don't like doing it. But at this point, I think a clear message needs to be sent, and I don't think it was loud enough. And I don't know whether people are just so disenfranchised and fed up and fatigued, or maybe some people don't think it's as bad as it is. I've seen we talked about this on the drive over here. I've seen a lot of people saying we're too good to be relegated.
Wake the fuck up.
Fuck off, because we've been in League One before. So
at the moment, this club is absolutely sleepwalking into a relegation dogfight. Absolutely 100%. Sleepwalking into it. We are 6 points off the relegation zone. Pompey have 2 games in hand on us and only 5 points behind, and we've still got to play them. We'll talk about that later, but I don't even want to. We haven't won a game in 7. We don't look like winning a game. We're doing the same thing every single week. Chris Wilder is going to be sat at home, absolutely rubbing his hands, even though he's had 2 players sent off, going, I know exactly what to do against that lot on Wednesday. Yeah. Easy.
It just I don't feel like there was enough. This sounds awful to say this. I don't feel like there's enough hatred there. There wasn't enough people, because I'm fucking fed up. I watched that shower of shit all last season and went to basically every single home game and a number of away games. I've gone to every single one home game this season so far. I'm not doing away games. I'm building a whole brand new business. I can't. But actually, I'm going to be honest with you, especially when we talk to people like Ian, when I hear about his experiences going up north to wherever he goes to, like Middlesbrough, I'm like, why would I spend my time and money on that? And actually, to be honest with you, that last part of that particular statement, spend my money on that, that's the only really thing at the moment I think is going to send any kind of message to the club. Because at the moment, whilst half time hits and every single man and his dog goes outside and has a pint, they don't care.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We go 2-0 down and everyone starts singing Sports Republic, get out of our club, and then everyone goes downstairs for a pint. So it kind of is that catch-22, but I do not recognise that football club anymore. I do not recognise it. I don't recognise what's going on. We've never been the biggest. We'll never be the best, right? It's as simple as that. We're always going to be knocking around in divisions and losing stupid games and being Dr. Southampton and all that sort of stuff. Fine. I just don't. I just feel so disconnected.
Well, one of the biggest songs that started to be sung frequently was the title of tonight's show, Sideways and Backwards, because even at 2-0 down, sideways and backwards,
sideways and backwards everywhere.
That's all it was. And it was. I'll be honest. When you're 2-0 down at home, you want to see fight from your club. There's no fight there. There was no battling. They didn't give a fuck. And I'm gonna. The other thing that really pissed me off is when it finished. I'll give Taylor some credit to start with. I will give him some credit here, because I think when people do things that we mention, and he's not going to watch the show and he's not going to listen to the show.
Should do.
Well, but he won't. But if I'm going to give him some credit, right? What he did at the end of that game was he walked towards the northern end and took it.
I actually also, though, and I'm going to very quickly just jump in there, I actually don't think he had that bad of a game yesterday. I thought he was the only defender that was running into space when it was there, and he was at least trying.
I think he had a better game than some of the others, but at least he fronted the fan base. That being said, I think too many people are prepared to just stand there and clap them after that shower of absolute fucking shit. Anyway, second half, right? He makes a change. He went to a back fucking 4. Imagine trying to be a bit attacking at home.
I also felt sorry for Josh Quashie because I didn't think he was having that bad of a game.
I'd have taken Nathan Wood off.
I'd have taken Nathan Wood off.
And I would have put on Elias Gillett then and pushed Fellows into the midfield. That's what I would have done straight away. I'd have kept Quashie on. I think Quashie's big, he's tall, he's powerful. Wood's just looking weak.
So
why we kept Nathan Wood over Ronnie Edwards, I will never fucking understand.
No.
But we went to back four. We did take Quashie off. I disagree with it. I think he's, like I said, I think he offers more. I think he's young and maybe he's got a mistake in him, but I think he offers more. And I think he's been quite good lately. And then came one of the most baffling decisions I think I've ever seen a Saints manager make.
It's the second most baffling decision of this season.
And he took off Tom Fellows, who was, let's be honest, our only real attacking threat.
He took off Tom Fellows, who was, you're right, our only attacking friend, carrying the ball well, whipping crosses in at every opportunity, and brought on the big man who you want to head in the bloody crosses. And that happened with Will still at Blackburn. The only difference is that Tondeur didn't bring Jack Stevens on and put him in midfield, although Wednesday night's coming, guys. I wouldn't put it past him. And it was, and then obviously there was a massive chorus of you don't know what you're doing. And do you know what?
That pissed the fan base off.
It was. And Dad said it on the way out yesterday, and he said, the players wear the things on the back of the shirts, and they can tell where he's got excellent level. Anyone watching that game of football yesterday could tell that Tom Fellows he was happy to go up and down, go up and down, go up and down. And finally, we put him in an attacking position, and he got 20 minutes?
And they took him off.
And they took him off.
Absolutely fucking stupid.
What a way to buy a player who has been superb in the Championship for the last 2-3 years and fucking ruin him.
90 minutes he should have been playing yesterday, without doubt, with the way he was playing. In the meantime, and I know there's a lot of fans of this player out there. But in the meantime, right, Leo Cienza stayed on the pitch. Now, I love Leo. I think he's a great little player for the most part. But what's happened now the going's got tough is Leo's gone missing. He's gone missing, hasn't he?
Yep.
Because he's not creating anywhere near as much as he was. He's not taking opposition players on. He's not running at people as he was. The confidence is drained from him, and he's gone a bit missing. Now, I get the idea that Leo can change a game, and actually, ultimately, he was probably the reason for the goal. But in fact, he almost definitely was. But the point of the matter is, at that particular point in time, on the balance of play, Fellows should stay on, and Leo or Azaz should come off.
No, I get that, and I know that hindsight's a wonderful thing. But we bought Jay Robinson, and he did nothing when he came on. And
Surprise!
He huffed and puffed, and he tried to create a few things, but he did nothing.
Surprise!
But Tom Fellows had their left back on edge, and there was just so much. Not just that. I'm going to bring it up now because I've just remembered it, and it bugged me.
Didn't he get the left back booked as well?
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
You want to run at him then, don't you?
Just carry on running at him. And I just don't understand. Like, there was a moment, and I said it to you. We had a corner, and we had Fellows on the halfway line, who obviously is the last man, and on the edge of the box we had Yanda and Finn Azaz. Finn Azaz, who's 6'2", 6'3", and yet in the box we had Gillett.
Yeah,
my son's nearly as tall as him, and yet
yeah.
we've got the small bloke in the box and the tall. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are you doing?
And then we do score a goal, and basically it wasn't a well worked goal. Leo took a shot, and then Ross Stewart got the end of it as a bit of a poacher. And fair play, he got at the end of it, he put the ball in the back of the net. Ash has always said, if he's fit and playing regularly, he'll score goals. And he's on the pitch, he scored a goal. That's if he's fit and playing regularly. That's the big problem, isn't it?
Yep.
But he does, he gets a goal. Right. Last week's title was tone deaf. I don't think you can be any more tone deaf than scoring that goal at that particular point in that game with what the crowd are chanting, and you play the fucking goal music. It's just tasteless. It's just stupid. If that was the equaliser, maybe. Probably not. Maybe you play that music.
I'd have done it for the equaliser, but I actually was expecting for...
On the balance of what the crowd are chanting, though, and the current mood in the stadium, you just don't do it. It's just stupid.
The goal went in, and obviously people are... I mean, I didn't really celebrate it that much, but you're going to cheer a goal. People are going to cheer a goal and stuff, and you think, right, good. We pulled a goal back. We've done well enough to do that. We've got 20 minutes to go and get ourselves an equaliser. And what do we do for 20 minutes?
Fuck all.
Sideways and backwards.
Sideways and backwards.
Sideways and backwards.
Because that's how you score goals. If you have 8,452 million completed passes in 90 minutes, that wins your games. Wait. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And there was two things that that really made me, and Alan's just actually mentioned it, that got cheers mostly at the start of the game. Firstly, it was after like 4 or 5 minutes, when whoever was in the press box turned the flipping music back on after like 4 minutes. That's hilarious. And then they took Ryan Manning off, and there was a massive cheer when Ryan Manning went off. Because he's been absolutely dreadful the last
Manning's
2
been
months.
awful. He loses the ball too frequently.
Awful.
He doesn't look like he cares. He gets beaten all the time. He's often out of position. His balls in aren't even that good anymore.
No.
They're just not. Get Wellington playing left back instead. He's dreadful at the moment. Absolutely dreadful. I said to you earlier about Moore and Manning. I think he is a liability at the moment. I think he's a massive liability. I will never understand it. I can understand with the 5-4-1 formation. I can understand not creating as many goals because it makes sense. You have less players in attack, then you're not going to create as many goals. If you've got 2 central defensive midfielders, essentially you've got 7 defenders on the field. But then what you're hoping to do surely at that point is you're hoping to be so fucking watertight that you can score with a single goal. Arsenal did it years and years and years ago when they were the unbeatables for ages. 1-0 to the Arsenal was a chant because you wouldn't fucking get past their back
They
five.
still played 4-4-2.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get past their back five. You wouldn't. It was impossible, and they'd get a goal and win a game. But we're not getting the goals, and we're conceding bucket loads with 5 at the back and 2 central defensive midfielders. I watched some football today. I watched Wolves versus Newcastle in the Premier League, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, it was a pretty shit game of football to watch. It wasn't the most exciting. And I know Wolves are battling, and I'll probably be pretty proud of the point. I reckon they'll probably beat Derby's points and our points record from last season. But it wasn't a very good game of football. But what was interesting is how hard attacking teams on both sides were finding, breaking down the opposition and getting in that final 18-yard box and sticking the ball in the pinball machine. And then I watch us, and it's just easy. And I don't understand how we can have 7 people in defensive roles, and yet a player just waltzes into the box.
Because they don't care.
7 people in defensive roles. If your opposition have got a back 4 and a goalkeeper, that means that they've only got 6 going forward.
So let's make this quite clear, right? So I just said they don't care, and they don't care, and we know that, right? And so the final whistle goes, fine, whatever. And the only thing that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to mention it very quickly now because I don't want to talk about it. I don't think it's a talking point that's worth doing, is that there was a couple of potential red cards yesterday. The challenge on Leo Cienza, Madski challenge on their one. I think they were both red cards. I think they both should have been sent off. Leo's got stud marks up here. Get over it, move on, fine. I'm not talking about them now because I'm actually going to a rant. So the final whistle goes. Tonda shakes opposition manager's hands, walks onto the pitch. As he walks onto the pitch, he notices that a lot of the players are going to walk off, and he calls them back onto the pitch. Taylor goes and faces up. Leo goes and faces up. Some of the others do. The first 3 players, they didn't do anything. They just walked straight down the tunnel. Ryan Manning, Flynn Downs, and our fucking captain for the day, Adam Armstrong, just disappeared. Well, guys should be nowhere near the fucking captain's
This goes on to part of my big problem, and I've been trying to figure out where the issues lie. And unfortunately, I've come to the conclusion that the issues are multifaceted. There's many of them. They're everywhere. There's loads.
Yep.
There's loads and loads of problems. One of the biggest issues we have on the pitch, and Adam walking straight down the tunnel is part of this problem, and it is a perfect example of the problem, is we don't have a single leader in that squad.
Nope.
And I was talking, I spent years in the fucking forces, right? And you have a section of 8 blokes, and you have a full screw and a lance jack, and you have 2 fire teams, and you have the toms, right? And even amongst the butt fuck soldiers, there's 1 or 2 of them where you're going to go, he's the lad that when the shit hits the fan, when everyone's up to their fucking ankles in mud and shit and it's wet and cold, they're the ones that are going to go, come on lads, it's not that bad, let's go on with it. They're the ones that are going to go, come on, right? And we don't have anyone who does that. We should do, but the ones, and it's just been mentioned by Charlie there, and guys, we are getting through your chats. It's quite quick tonight. It's even busier than it normally is, but they're Russell Martin's mates. The majority of them are all Russell Martin's mates. There's not a single leader. There's not a single person who, when the chips are down, you can look at them and go, he's geeing everybody up. He's geeing the team up. He's geeing the crowd up. There's no one doing that at all. Not a single one. And that's when I'm like, what hope do we have? And then you look at the technical area. You look at the coaching staff for the manager. There's no inspiration there. There's no animation there. There's no one screaming and shouting and jumping up and down there on our side.
Soulless.
Tonda's just stood there. That's it. That's all you get from him. And then when he makes decisions like taking fellows off, you lose the fan base completely. We just have none. We have no strong leaders on the pitch, and so we are mentally weak, and we have no resilience. I've said that already.
But it's okay because after the game they didn't come out for a while, and Tondeur said that they said some home truths.
I'll give him a home truth. You're out your fucking depth, mate. Now, you can watch the shows back. I won't hide from this. At the point in which they appointed him, I categorically stated, on the balance of what he'd done so far as his application period, he should have got the job. But that now, and that's based on the fact that he played all those games and won as many as he won, right? And it took us from 21st, I think we were 21st,
yeah, to like 8th,
to like 8th, right?
Yeah.
So on the balance of that, trial period, he absolutely should have got the job. And I stand by that. You take any manager, you give them 7 games, they win 6, you probably give them the job, right? I think that's probably pretty fair for most people to say. And actually, I think that a lot of people, if they're very, very honest, on social media, or in and around the ground, agreed with the decision at the time because it looked like, fuck, we've got a gem here. But what we've obviously discovered is this man has no plan B. He has no grunt himself. He's utterly, completely, and monumentally out of his depth. And I have to say, I wouldn't have been surprised or disappointed if the club would have come out today and said they sacked him. Because I am fucking terrified of next Sunday.
I think we all are.
I'm absolutely terrified of next Sunday. And I don't have anyone on the pitch who inspires me that they want to put up a fight against the Skates. None of them are from Hampshire in the first instance.
Well, they're all fucking cowards anyway, so they're going to go to an absolute cauldron. And one thing we can say about them is that the atmosphere at Fratton Park is top notch, it's decent, it's vile for opposition teams. They're going to go there and they're going to be like, oh shit, and they're going to absolutely crumble. Obviously I work in Portsmouth, and one of the guys said to me today, he said, I think you'll beat us next week, we're not looking very good. And I was like, 100% hand on heart, I can 100% see Pompey beating us next Sunday. And we'll get on to the preview in a minute. I've left a bit of extra time for the preview. We'll whiz through the transfer stuff in a minute. But
I'm terrified, and I think that we need him not in charge for next Sunday. I hate to say it, but I do. But then when we talk leadership on the pitch. I talk leadership on the pitch a lot, right? Because as football fans, we see the 11 players on the pitch, plus substitutions, and the coach in the technical area. That's what we see. That's what we watch. That's what we witness week in, week out. It's essentially what we pay to go and watch, right? Yep. And there's no leaders in the technical area, and there's no leaders on the pitch. I think putting Adam Lallana in charge of the under-21s, not having him in the technical area, is a mistake. I categorically think it's a mistake, because when he was in the technical area before, you could see him shouting and being animated. Yep. And I think that's a mistake. But we don't have any leaders anywhere on the pitch. But my big problem as well is we don't have any in the club. Who's coming out and talk? Like, Spores will come out if things are going all right. I don't do a cheeky little interview then. When is anybody talking when things are going tough and rough?
But
where is Parsons? Where is Spores? Where is Solak? Where is Ankerson? Where are all these fucking people when we're a shower of shit in a league that realistically the club our size shouldn't be in, and we should be in because we got relegated because we were fucking crap. But where are these people? Why aren't they coming out and going, we're trying to solve this problem?
They're cowards, and everyone can say it. Everyone knows exactly how you solve that problem. It carries on. You ditch the manager and you get someone in who knows the fucking championship inside and out. And I'm going to throw a few random names out there. I know some of these are in managers, in jobs, etc. But you would look at your Sean Dyches, your Mark Robbins, your even potentially your Brendan Rodgers to a degree. People who know it inside out. But those guys will turn around to the board and say, well, I want to manage the club. And they'll go, no, I don't want that. So I'll go and find another fucking puppet who comes in who's happy to play 5 at the back. We're going to get battered if we carry on going this way. This
is my point. When I say there's no leadership on the pitch, actually, if you take a step back and you take a little bit of a helicopter view and you look at it from higher up, there is no management. There's no. Well, no, that's a lie. There's loads of management in place. There's no fucking leadership. There's no leadership.
And you've seen this. So clubs like Norwich, for example, their technical director, he's been on fan podcasts like this, sitting there explaining decisions, getting grilled by fans. And he's been like, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I know Liam Manning was a bad decision, and Philip Clement gone in, and they've obviously started winning. It's amazing how much confidence it's given that striker after we handballed it. But the communication is fucking piss poor, and the only time we've heard from Johannes Spores in the last 2 months has been when he said he was happy about signing Peretz, who, to be fair, was quite vocal yesterday. But
Peretz is, I mean, that save he made, I don't think you can put him at blame for either of the goals.
No, I don't. No,
I don't think you can. I think he did what he could in both scenarios. I don't think you can put him in blame.
Maybe he was distracted by the second one, by the smell of your chicken.
It was nice chicken, I'll be honest. Can you hold Alfie's account for rubbish?
I'll get onto that in a minute.
The Ryan Fraser transfer and end up becoming
Max, I'll get onto that in a minute.
Okay, cool. I see that come up a couple of times. So, Liam knows being a manager not the same as being a leader. Right. This is the thing, right? I've said this forever, and slightly off topic, but relevant to what we're talking about right now. There's people get these two things confused, and they call them the same thing, and they're not the same thing. Management, leadership, right? And to be a good manager, you don't have to be a good leader necessarily. To be a good leader, you don't necessarily have to be a good manager. But it's worth identifying that are two very different things, right? And I think you can teach management. I think you can.
Yeah,
I think you can teach people how to manage a situation or manage a system. I think you can teach management. I do not think you can teach leadership. I don't think you can teach it. I don't think you can coach it. I think you can nurture it. I think you can nurture it, but my personal belief is leadership is a natural trait that has to be nurtured out of people.
Yes.
Right? That's my honest belief. Identify leaders, nurture them. You can't coach them, you nurture them, right? We do not have any of the second. We just don't.
We have me. No, it's look, we know where the issues are, and they've obviously tried to distract everyone by bringing people like Romeo back in. I'd have no faith that they're going to do the right thing. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We are sleepwalking at the moment into a relegation battle, and people can say, "Oh, we're not going to go down at the rate we're going. We're going to play in League One football next year."
I think there's a risk.
100%. We are no longer looking up; we're looking over our shoulder.
Yeah, you can teach leadership to the right person. I don't think so. I think if the person's the right person, it's because they've already got some natural leadership in them, and you nurture it. It's an opinion. I've managed at very senior level. It's just my opinion. So and I've managed at very senior level. So as in like report straight to director level in big business. I don't think you can teach leadership. I think if a person is just not a natural leader, they will never be a natural leader. But that's my own opinion. Before we jump into it, the game was fucking diabolical. It was awful to watch. It wasn't fun and interesting. If I didn't have people like Ash, my dad, Ian, and his family, Matty at the football, I probably would get to a point where I don't really want to fucking go anymore. Because it just fucking...
Was the chicken good?
It was all right. It wasn't £7.50 good, but it was all right. Give us your opinion, stick them on postcards, whatever you want to do. We'll get to them all at the end, I promise you. Feel free to have a rant. Feel free to say some foul language. I'm just so disenfranchised by it. I think as a fan base at games specifically, I think there needs to be a little bit more unity. My personal opinion is that that unity at the moment needs to tend towards the negative. And I think when chants start, it needs to, there was a load of shit on social media pre-game about a 2 p.m. protest at the Ted Bates statue.
Yeah, I wandered round to have a look at that. There was fuck all there. So people aren't obviously taking it seriously at the moment. So
yeah, right. So we're going to move into some other bits and bobs. We've got some transfer rumours and some news. We've got other club news, etc., etc. Before we do it, if you can, I'm going to press my magical button. Please make sure you hit all those magical YouTube buttons for us. I noticed there's 160 people watching live right now. Woo! 160 people. If you enjoy the show, if you like the show, hit that like button for us. It's completely free. It's totally free to do that, but it does really help the channel and it really helps the show out because the algorithm goes, oh, people like this, and it puts it to more people, pushes it out to more people. So please do that for us. If you're new here and you haven't already and you want to get involved in chat, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. We do put subscriber only mode on so we can stop spamming, even though one person keeps doing it. And if he keeps doing it, I'll just ban him. And then also it helps our numbers and makes us look more important. It makes us look, we're closing in on 1,250, I think now, which is quite nice.
Like that,
So, become a subscriber. That's also free. And if you want to be notified every single time we go live on a Sunday, it's always 8 o'clock on a Sunday. You can hit that bell notification icon to be notified when we do go live. You can also get yourself in Discord. That's a free perk for everybody. There is a paid members area if you are a member, but it's a free perk for everybody. You can come and join in on the conversation in Discord if you want to. It's actually quite busy. You said it's closing on 100 people.
Closing on 100 people. It's not just we talk Premier League, we talk anything and everything, and there's conversations all the time. So much that I can't even keep up with it.
It is quite busy in there, so get yourself in Discord. But I also said there's a members area. If you want to support the podcast, if you want to support the show, there are a number of ways you can do it. Watching and liking and subscribing is all free and supports us. So thank you to all you people that are doing that. You're amazing. And if you've watched it on demand and you've sat for an advert, you're also supporting us. Thank you so much. But you can become a member of the show. which is a direct monthly fee that you pay us because you think we're brilliant and one of us is prettier than the other one. Or you can gift memberships to give other people the option to come into Discord and be paid members and have a green name in the chat. Finally, what you can do if you want to is you can super chat. So you can spend some money right now, put a big colourful postcard on the screen with your opinions, and at the end of the show, we'll go through every single one and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, right? There we go. I did that bit. You keep writing it in there, so I did that bit for you.
No, I think it's still in there from last week.
I'm good at that bit, though.
No, I think it's still in there from last week.
I do that bit like 8 times a week, so it's well rehearsed. Right, so transfer stuff, right. So you would think that one of the big high priorities for the club at the moment is to sort the playing staff out because it's clearly not good enough. We're clearly weak. We clearly don't have enough. We don't have enough clinically. We don't have decent finishes, etc. So we will make some changes. I think the first problem identified is a problem that we've all been talking about for a long time. And you can go one or two ways with it, striker or goalkeeper. I thought the goalkeeper problem was probably more of an issue than the striker problem. Clearly, Spores thought the same. He made a move really, really quickly. We brought in this new guy who I think is looking okay. He's shouting, he's coming for the ball. I think he's looking okay. A couple of dodgy moments, but he's still settling. And he's only played about 3 or 4 games of professional football in nearly a year. And Bazunu got fucked off straight away to Stoke.
Tick, done, gone, move on.
What do you think about that?
I completely understand. Bazunu, the minute Peretz came in, Bazunu knew that he wasn't going to be number one and he wanted to play football, so I get it.
I get it from Bazunu's perspective. From a club perspective, our number 2 and 3 are still, therefore, Alex McCarthy and George Long.
Yes.
That's concerning.
I think it's concerning, but again, I'm not going to hold anything against. I'm not going to hold anything against Gavin Bazunu if he wanted to go play football. He wants to make sure he gets into that Irish squad.
No, I have nothing against Gavin Bazunu for it, and I wish him well. I don't think he's very good. That being said, it seems when he's got a defence in front of him that actually likes to defend, he keeps a clean sheet. But I think that I would rather have him as a number 2 than either of the other two. But hey,
I agree. But yeah, this is what it is.
And then what Maximus has been pushing us on for ages, Ryan Fraser.
So I'm going to go into this. He said he'd give us £10 if we talked about it. Max, we're talking about it. So we all know that obviously Ryan Fraser came in as one of Russell Martin's little buddies and all that sort of stuff, as it is. On the 6th of January, Alfie tweeted, because there was a rumour that Ryan Fraser was going to, I want to say Western Force in Australia. I think it's Western Force that he was touted to, and it was rubbish. And to be fair to Alfie, Fraser stayed in the country for the best part of 10 days. And then early yesterday, it became manageable that actually the deal was going on. And to be fair, again, to Alfie, he was like, hang on a minute, guys. He's like, Algeraps, it looks like it's actually happening. Alfie's not Fabrizio Romano. He's not one of the ones in the know all the time. Obviously, he does get a bit of information for. So, yeah, it looks like the Ryan Fraser on his fairly sizable ways from what we can tell. Western Sydney, Cameron, thank you. And, yeah, it looks like Fraser's on his way. Let's be honest. He started off playing this season in the starting lineup, and we thought I'd be all right, but he's just not the level that he was.
But he's not the level that he was. And let's be honest, right? Ash, Ryan Fraser, and Joe Aribo are our 2 highest paid players.
Yeah, good. So Ryan Fraser, gone.
Massive wage bill.
It's not confirmed yet, but he's going.
Massive wage bill off the cards. Back to the game, by the way. James says the other team hardly had a shot on target yesterday. Well, you're right, but ultimately the facts of football are, it doesn't matter what your XG, your possession, your tackles, your fouls, it doesn't matter what any of those numbers are. The number that matters is balls in back of net, goals scored.
Completely agree.
And what annoyed me yesterday was Tonda came out in the press and it really fucked me off. And he went, we created enough chances there to win 3 games. No, you didn't. So, all right, you had 22 chances. Let's be honest, most of you are going to look at those and go, they're not chances. If they were all good quality chances, if you were battering that goal mouth and the keeper pulled off some worldies and the line clearances, etc., I'd give him that one. I would. They were piss poor, half-arsed, no effort chances.
There is only one stat that counts, and it's the one at the fucking top.
Yeah, I think you can't count half those as chances. But anyway, so Ryan Fraser's wage off the wage bill for now. Is he on loan or full move?
I believe it's loan, but his contract's up at the end of the year. So
good, fuck him off. Get rid of him. Honestly. And then Juan Larios is back from loan.
He was on loan at a Spanish club who I did know the name before we went live, and I've completely forgotten it. It's like something Leonesa, but there's another club, I think it's in Italy, that are offering to pay for him. So the club have recalled him with a view of him then going out, obviously done. So he's another one. He's another one off the wage bill, potentially getting a bit of money in.
James is talking about Bazunu. The reason why he's got a clean sheet is they had no shots on goal. That'll do it. But that's a goalkeeper's dream.
Imagine
because if you stop your opposition from having any shots on goal, you don't need your goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's dream.
So Larios is looking like that deal's going to be got. So it's potentially 5 players out.
Maybe. Well, we've got James Bree back, so it's another wage on our books. He was at Charlton. Obviously went and met up with his mate Nathan Jones. Started quite well, actually. He was looking decent, and the Charlton fans are a big fan. And in recent times, they don't really love him as much anymore, do they?
No, he's currently gone off the boil a little bit there, and they've brought in a new right back. They've brought in Harry Clark on loan, so I think it was obviously weren't going to do it. Tonda turned around and said that he was happy that Bree was coming back because he can play right back, right centre back, left centre back, and left back if he wants to. Interesting that he made the comment of all of them. I would assume that James Bree is effectively going to replace what Ronnie Edwards was doing in the squad. And look, I've always been a fairly big fan of James Bree, to be fair. And I didn't want him to go out on loan. I'd rather have kept him instead of signing Maz Rosleb because I think he could have done that job. Obviously, Will Steele felt different, and that's up to them. But now we've got 5 fullbacks in a club, and you think, okay.
Well, right back position, you've got, strictly speaking, you've got Yulert, Maz Rosleb, and now James Bree.
I would play Yulert left back and play James Bree right back.
I'd play Wellington left back and Yulert right back.
I don't like Wellington.
No,
I don't like him.
I don't like playing players on the left hand side that have got right feet.
Yulert can use his left foot. He showed that against Liverpool.
I don't know. I prefer Larios over Manning.
You've never saw Larios play. When he started playing for the first team, when he was playing in the Premier League, he looked fairly good, but he's just injury prone, so he's never going to make it at top level now. He'll make it in a lower level, but he's never going to make it at top
I'd
level.
rather one of those ladies on the street outside played left back over Ryan Manning at the moment. So
only cost 20 quid, no?
25.
Rates have gone up.
Inflation.
Jesus Christ.
So, but in terms of news for other players coming in, I think we still need some sort of prolific goal scorer. I know they are rarer than rocking or shit at the moment.
It's not necessarily. Look, when we say it, and excuse me, look, I think there's a lot. Max, I've seen your question. Why don't I like Wellington? I think he's a liability. I think he gets hot-headed, and I don't think he does enough.
He does get hot-headed, but at least he shows some fucking passion.
Look, the last time Wellington started a game, he got taken off after now against Coventry. He was dreadful, and I know he does show some passion, but I think there's passion, there's aggression. I think he goes too aggressive.
Okay,
but I think in terms of the goal scorers, yes, I have supported Ross Stewart all along, but I do worry now that him scoring yesterday is going to sit there and go, oh, well, Cameron Archer's got a couple of goals recently. Ross Stewart's got a goal. Bringing Cameron Archer on after 88 and a half minutes was an insult because what's he going to do in 4 minutes, 5 minutes? He wasn't going to do anything. Adam Armstrong had been a pedestrian for the entire second half. I think they need to go out there and there just needs to be a bit of a statement.
Ash, the thing is, and I do think we need an exciting forward. That's the way I'm going to word it. Not striker necessarily. I think we need exciting forward, another exciting forward, someone who pushes Leo, someone who pushes Finn, etc. But here's the facts, right? You could pull Erling Haaland out of Man City and put him up front for Saints at the moment, and he ain't scoring goals. Because if you're not getting service, you're not scoring goals.
I have seen Cameron just mentioned it. Obviously, we've been heavily linked to Joel Peru. We know how January transfer windows go. The end of the January transfer window is traditionally more loans and everything else because people can do all the bits. I just think that there's a lot of people out there that think we're going to spend £20 million on a striker. We're not. We're going to have to use the loan market. We've not got any loans in. We've not got any loans. Use the loan market. We get 4 loan slots. Fucking use them. Yeah. And do you know what? If they're a bit shit, well, actually, sorry, we've got George Long on loan. Yulert is on loan. I know that, but what I'm on about is we've got 4 loan slots, so we've still got 2 loan slots to go. So use them. Yeah. Use them to go and get someone like a Joel Peru. I've seen that. You said cheeky Bill on Kiefer Moore. He's Welsh. He's at Wrexham. It's not going to happen, mate.
And Wrexham are doing all right, isn't they?
Don't say that because Gartsy will start being like fucking little fangirl, won't he? So they are doing all right.
Imagine what happens when you get owners that actually give a shit.
Well, they did all right, but they lost yesterday. So
yeah, but still.
I'm still waiting for Max to pay off his £10. We talked about Alfie House.
He won't. Other club news. This was sad yesterday, actually. Martin Shivers. Shivers?
Martin Shivers, yeah.
We spoke about it before, right? We spoke about it last week. R.I.P. Martin Shivers, Saints legend. So what did the club do for him yesterday, Ash?
Absolutely fuck all. And that goes into the title for last week's show. Absolutely tone deaf, a club legend.
Well, I think it fits both titles. I think it fits tone deaf and it fits rotten. Club legend did fuck all.
Scored 100 odd goals for Southampton. Passed away. First home game since. and we do absolutely nothing to market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely nothing. And there was a nice little tribute at half-time for Paul Castle, who is obviously part of Paul Castle Associates, sponsored TSB and stuff, and that was nice to see. But a club legend. And we've done nothing.
Aurelio Romeo was supposed to play for the under-21s. Gave him some minutes in. What happened?
Injured.
I'm so glad we're paying him a fucking wage.
And for those on the podcast that listen, not on YouTube, I'm doing the bunny ears. Injured.
Oh yeah, Peretz is currently on loan as well.
Yeah, so there's only one. But there's still a loan slot left, so use it.
Yeah, okay. And then in the wider championship, there was a late win for Middlesbrough and Coventry. United had 2 sent off at Charlton, where they lost. Millwall win, Ipswich won, Derby and Norwich. Gavin Bazunu kept his clean sheet. We talked about that already. So the table is the championship table. It's all over the place. Coventry still sort of flying at the top there. I don't think that's in question now. I think they're probably going up. Having seen them play against us, they need to do some work in the window, I think, Coventry, to be able to compete at Premier League level at the moment. I think they're going to get battered up there, but, you know.
They're 8 points clear of Ipswich, and Ipswich have a game in hand.
And I honestly always want, unless it was the Skates, I always want any promoted team to do okay in the Premier League because I think it's healthy for football. So if Coventry do go up automatically, which they should do with their flying, I don't want them to get battered and come back down, despite the fact that I really upset Coventry fans when they were down here. Fuck them. I really want them to go up and do well, but I think they need some. I look at the championship. I look at every single. We've played every single team at least once now, right? I look at every single team in the championship, and there's not a single one of them where I think you'll do all right in the Premier League. Not a single one.
I think you just need to. I think we discussed it before, and we'll do a bit of a season review. We're not going to cover the Premier League much at the moment, obviously, because we're not on it. But kudos to Sunderland for what they're doing. Kudos to Leeds for what they're doing. And actually, Burnley got a point at Anfield yesterday. They're not out of it yet.
No.
Even Wolves.
So
they're beating 5.
There's a couple of questions in the chat which I'm going to touch on now before we go into the super chats and then next week. People saying thoughts on Don Ballard. We talked about it at the start of the show, right? This is what annoys me. Gav Bazunu goes away, keeps a clean sheet. Right, they have no shots against him, but gets a clean sheet. Ronnie Edwards goes to QPR, keeps a clean sheet. Don Ballard plays at the weekend and scores a perfect hat trick. That he was ours. He's an academy talent.
Yep.
We sold him and bought in Damien Downs.
And we sold him for 6 figures.
Unbelievable. Ash used to say last season, Don Ballard scores goals. Said it loads, didn't you? All the time.
He scored 15 goals this year in the league. He scored 2 hat-tricks. He's a top goal scorer in the League One. Now, I know it's League One, and I know that in Orient are like 14th, 15th, whether they are. But you've got players like Armour, who I'm now potentially looking at. Potentially, he could be one of the players that potentially are stinking the place out. Get rid of them. Just give someone, because this is even the point where I know Cam Bragg's come in and kind of been decent. He couldn't play yesterday because he's had a what's it called? He's had concussion. But we had that. Owen Koule was on the bench. It's just give some more kids a chance if you need to. Just Don Ballard scored goals at every single level for this football club. He scored in his debut for this football club against Cambridge in the League Cup a few years ago. He then had a couple of half-assed loans in places which didn't go well, which happens, right? Do you know what the last striker? There was a striker that went on loan to 4 separate clubs and scored 1 goal at them and had like 10 appearances. Do you know who that was? Harry Kane. And he went back to Spurs, got into the first team, and is probably the best striker in the world right now. Don Ballard is not going to get that chance at this football club. And he should have been given the chance.
He should have been. I agree with you. He should have been given that chance at football club. As a club that was renowned for years and years about having one of the best academies in the country, how we're taking that kind of academy talent and just fucking it off for 6 figures is unbelievable.
You said earlier you've got the difference between management and leadership. Everyone who watches football knows you have got the difference between a natural goal scorer and someone who works hard to score goals. Don Ballard is a natural goal scorer. Adam Armstrong isn't. Adam Armstrong is someone who needs 5 or 6 chances to score a goal, and he works hard at it to a degree, unlike yesterday. But he works hard at it, and he will get goals when he gets chance after chance. Don Ballard is the bloke that the ball drops him in the box, he'll score, and we got rid of him. Last year, the last 3 or 4 years, has been the most natural goal scorer in the club, and we got rid of him.
I think it was a mistake.
Utterly ridiculous business.
Absolutely.
Again,
and look what we've got left. I think. Like I said to you already, right, before we move on to Super Chats and we move on to next week, the club is, I think, rotten at the core at the moment, fans. I think it is. I think it's in a shit state. I think we need to send a bit of a message, if I'm honest. I think we need to be very vocal about it. I kind of begrudged even buying a round of drinks yesterday because I'm part of the problem at that point, honestly. And if it wasn't for the fact that I enjoy the social with the people we're still with so much, I probably wouldn't have bothered.
Look, right, I'm going to quickly come in on that because I think that Dragon Solak said in the summer that if I think I become the problem, I'll put the club up for sale. Now, I don't disbelieve that Dragon Solak is passionate and wants to do well. And I know that Johannes Spors has been in charge for, a year now. My firm personal belief is that Tondeur came in with the under-21s job, and no matter what happened, Tondeur was always going to be given that job.
Yeah,
I think that's the whole reason it's built on. But he brought in Will Still, it went wrong. He's now brought in Tondeur, and it's going wrong again. And again, we'll say it, you're right, rotten to the core. It's absolute dog shit all around. We can't even honour a club legend. Some fans want to protest. There was a fight in the Northern Stand yesterday about someone abusing Ryan Mann and someone not abusing Ryan Mann. It's a good thing that you don't know near you because you were abusing everyone. I think I heard you say the C word probably about 30 times, and that was after you kept on kicking over my water bottle.
At least 10 times. That's for the outfield players.
And it's just rotten to the core to everyone. There's no communication. There's no nothing. But it's okay because they might be releasing more 120 quid shirts if you want to buy one.
I think that our season priorities have changed, chat, if I'm honest with you. And I was one of those super naive, excitable people at the start of the season, and it's come to kick me in the nuts and make me look like a bit of a mug. But I think our season priorities have changed, and I think at the moment our priorities are not to get relegated, and I do think it's a risk legitimately at the moment. I do think there is a chance we get pulled into that fight. I think our priorities are not get relegated.
We're already in it.
Well, and at the end of the season, we need to actually be... We've talked for a while. We talked when we came down from the Premier League about clearing out dead wood. And we haven't done it. We haven't cleared out dead wood.
No.
We need to fucking gut this squad of all the shit that's been letting us down and start again. I think we do. I think that's what we need to do. And I include management and coaching staff in that, if I'm honest with you. But, hey. Are you saying Tonda should be sacked, guys? I think he definitely should now. I think... I'm torn, James, right? I'll ask Ash's opinion in just a second. I'm torn. I'm torn between yes, definitely, and no, right? So I think that based on the last 7 or 8 games, many managers at the moment would be fearing for their position. I don't want him in charge against the Skates. I think he will be. I think if we lose that game, I think he then gets sacked. Do I want him to be sacked based on his performances and what he's doing and how he's managing? Yeah, I do. Do I think the club should? That's a different question because you have to think about the payoff. You have to think about the way it looks. You have to think about what happens when you sack another manager, so 4 or 5 in 2 years, and then you go, hey, we're open for candidates. Who wants to apply? Because everyone's going to go, poison chalice, not fucking interested. Unless the only way you're going to get that at that point, when a manager comes in and goes, I'll come and solve it for you, 3 or 4 year contract, huge salary. Because I want that security, because you're sacking people every fucking 3 months. Not quite. I'm exaggerating, obviously, right? But you see my point. Because if you don't, if a manager's not going to be given that security of a massive 3-year contract and a big wage, he's going to go, well, what's to say I take the job and you don't fucking sack me in 6 months' time? So because you haven't supported me with the playing staff that I need. So I think that's the only way it works. So I think if the club sacks someone now, I think you go, well, but how do you then bring someone in of a caliber that needs to do what we need them to do in the club? I think we've spent so much time fucking about with Will Still, with Ivan Juric, and with fucking Tondeur. I think we've spent so much time fucking about that now we've lost so many opportunities for big managers. So many opportunities for big managers.
You said you were going to ask my opinion. I'm going to come in with it now anyway.
Go for it.
I think that, firstly, I agree with what everyone's saying in chat. Obviously, if he does lose the next 2 games, he's going to be gone anyway. I know what we should do, and would I get rid of him now? I was the same as you, and again, you can watch the shows back, and he did what he needed to do in the audition, but we said about interim. We said interim till the end of the season. They went ahead and did it anyway. Would I want Southampton to sack him and get someone who's more experienced? Yes. Are they going to do it? No. Because if they sack him, all the hell they are going to do is bring in someone else who's going to be a yes man.
I don't think they bring someone else.
Oh, no, they'll just promote Lallana or something.
Lallana will be put in charge. And the one thing I will say for Lallana is, at least he fucking cares about the club. At least he cares. If I want Lallana, here's what I think would be a good move. And I legitimately mean this. Lallana needs to be in that fucking technical area at Fratton Park.
He won't be.
No, but I would put him in.
It's been an absolute genius bringing in this assistant manager, hasn't he? He's done a lot well to good.
But I would, if it was me, I'd be going, right, we're going to Fratton Park. My starting 11 hasn't got a single fucking Saints person in it, really. No one from Southampton, right? No one local. So let's bring Adam Lallana in, Southampton born and bred, right? Academy player. Bring him in and have him in the technical area. He should be there on that Sunday.
That'd be great, but he was in the technical area last time. Didn't do us any fucking good, did it?
No, well, but still, you've got someone who's going to be passionate and screamy and fucking angry. Like, I don't know. At the moment, I'd rather have him in charge. I would. But even though Cameron says he hasn't got the badges, has he still not got the badges?
He's got some. He can do it on an interim basis, even if he's not got the badges.
Okay, well, there you go. We're going to jump into, before we do the preview for next week, we're going to jump into the chat. So some of you have been sending us some money. You're very kind. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We've only got one new member so far. That's an amazing way of supporting us. Any of you who are grey in chat, if you want to support us, you become a member of the channel. So I'm going to say thank you to Galactic Gaz for the $10. You're a legend. Thank you.
Absolutely love Gaz.
Didn't say anything. Just give us $10. What a hero. Love you for that. Thank you so much. He also is the person who gifted us a membership. So $15 of Gaz's money to support the channel. We love you. Thank you so much. Adam also sent us $2 and said Tall Paul ? Tall Paul did an interview, I think, relatively recently.
Yep.
And he basically came out and said, my game doesn't work over there.
He said it's a similar ideas, but he said the way they played didn't suit me.
Yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, and I think he's not entirely wrong. I think that with Fellows delivering balls in, maybe to some points the Enza, if you get the wing backs actually whipping crosses in, then maybe that we just I don't understand. We've got a tall player on the pitch, stop whipping balls in. We've got a short player on the pitch, whip loads of balls in.
We've got a tall player on the pitch. We'll take off our most creative crosser.
It's unbelievable. I don't think Tall Paul's the answer, but then I didn't rate him anyway. He's the fanboy. Easy going. Thank you for the $5. Also didn't say anything. If you want to say something, just stick it in the chat right now, and Ash will see it. Right. Thank you, Lucas, for the $2. Worst thing: the fun and joy of going to games is gone. I like match day. I like football day.
Love it.
Because I like the social. I like the catch up. I like chatting to people. I like chatting to Ian. I like chatting to Bex. I like chatting to Paddy. You, Dad, Matt. I love that part.
Bumping into people from the chat channel, yeah.
I love that part. Mark came up to us. He's in chat. And I had a good old chingma with him because he's ex-army as well.
Yeah.
Great chat over a beer, right? Perfect. Love it. 100%. One of my favourite things about football. And then normally the game has been kind of, it could be good, it could be bad. Who knows? And sometimes there's some hope at least. I kind of with them. I at the moment I could turn up. I could do the fucking social. I could go home. I'll be honest, because
before the kickoff, yeah.
The game part's just. I don't think there's any hope at the moment right now. So I could. So you're right. I don't disagree with you. Thank you, Garsty, for the $5. He says, apology for being a massive fanboy, Ash.
Well, at least Garsty paid up, unlike Max, who hasn't. So, you know.
Fair,
yeah. We'll be having words, Max. I'll be speaking to you later.
Thank you for the $5 and Garsty. You know I love you anyway. And Joshy, thank you for the $2. I just want Ralph back, to be honest. Do you think there's ever a world where Ralph comes back?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't think he would come back, firstly, for the group of people that sacked him. And secondly, I don't think he'd come back when he doesn't have the control over the club that he would have done. Because he would want to come back and be someone who wants to be in control, and quite clearly Will Steele was not in control and Tonda is not in control.
Correct, yeah. Easygoing, who gifted that $5 with nothing, just said, just supporting the channel and getting my group therapy. Appreciate you, thank you so much. Would I take him back? Yeah, 100%.
Oh, of course I would.
Do I think he'll come back? No. I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he'll come back.
I don't think he will. Thank you then, Ryan, for 5 gifted memberships.
Absolute legend.
5 gifted memberships.
All of you are legends. We appreciate it massively.
If you get gifted membership, get yourself a Discord. You'll get access to an extra area. And then finally, Jimmy Cheese comes in with $5. Nice work, fellas. Might see you Wednesday night.
Hopefully, yeah. He's not been very well. I think he's got an issue with his back. You know, probably trying to throw things at people on the pitch, probably. But no, Jimmy,
the team.
We love you. We hopefully will see you Wednesday night. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We've got 2 games coming up. I'm going to ask you.
Do we need to preview Sheffield United? It's going to be shit.
Sheffield United on Wednesday. Chris Wilder, he's on the Okie Kokie at his club, so maybe, you know, I look at Chris Wilder, and maybe it's the only hope that maybe Ralph Hasenhüttl will come back, because Chris Wilder's been in and out of that club quite a few times. 3 times he's been sacked and come back in now. Twice sacked, come back in.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, if he can be constantly sacked and told you're not good enough and then brought back in once the next new manager fails, maybe Ralph could come back. You're right with what you said. He's got to be rubbing his hands together because he's not a dumb manager. He knows how to manage in this league. He knows how to manage in this league. That's someone what we need. He knows how to work the championship. He knows that. And he'll look at what we've been doing. He'll look at how we've been playing and he'll know how to cause us problems. He'll know how to stop us from creating chances and he'll know how to throw the ball in the box and cause us issues. He just will. He'll know that. And he'll set up his team to do it. 2 red cards aside, he'll set up his team to do it.
And he's got a couple of big guys that he can put up front. He's also got Patrick Bamford, who can score goals when you're on. He's just a poacher. And so, yeah, we know he knows exactly what to do. Sit tight for a bit, lads, and keep whipping crosses into the box.
So, what do you think for a result?
I can't see us winning. I think we'll be lucky to get a point. If I was going to predict any scoreline, I would say 2-0 Sheffield United, and I think it'll get fucking ugly at St Mary's.
So I think the same. So here's my question. If he loses to Sheffield United on Wednesday,
yeah,
we've got the Skates on Sunday.
Yeah.
Did you sack him there?
Yes.
Well, fuck, I didn't finish speaking, Ash. So you'd sack him after Wednesday if he loses? Okay.
So he's had 8 games, and every single game that he's had, there's been nothing. It's not like we've gone 1-0 up and we've lost to a last minute. We conceded a last minute equaliser despite looking decent and tried to fight and all that sort of stuff. There's nothing going on. Absolutely nothing going on.
If you look at mainstream media, so if you look at the wider press, a lot of people are calling for him to go now, including Alfie. I think Adam said it as well at the moment. Like he's done. Right, and I have to. I know Alf. I know ish of Alfie. I've had conversations with him before. He's been in the studio because they did the Total States podcast here once. And one thing I will, and he won't watch this, but one thing I will want to say to Alfie is, please keep doing what you're doing.
100%.
Because what Alfie's doing is Alfie's actually asking him difficult fucking questions, and I respect that. And as a journalist, he's not rude to him. He's not trying to fish for some headline. He's just asking him the difficult fucking questions that we're all talking about. But Adam doesn't seem. He wants to know the colour of his goldfish. But Alfie's asking him actual difficult questions, and I think. I want to say fair play and well done to him for doing that.
As far as fan base going, I know we're pushed for time now, but as far as fan bases go, we all said it at the start of the year when the fixtures were released. We looked at 2 games. Now, Will Steele's issues aside, he played 4 at the back against the Skates. It was a horrible time. It was just after that. It was 5 games in. It was just after an international break, like the first of like 17 international breaks we had in like the first 3 months. And the team was starting to come together, and Cienza wasn't really there, and Azaz was in, but it was fine. This game Sunday, I don't think Eckert generally actually does realise how fucking big this game on Sunday is. The last time we went to Fratton Park, we came away as 4-0 winners.
Yeah, and we still sing about it now.
But then they still sing about winning 4-1 at our place and all that, and taking us down, all that sort of stuff. Whatever, fine. If we lose on Wednesday and there's nothing positive to go for it, I don't think there will be any fan that will want that man in charge of the football club and take us down to Fratton Park, because at least you've got an option of putting someone new in charge of, and I know it sounds stupid, of a manager bounce, or of someone like Lallana who comes with a bit of passion and changes it or something like that. The problem being is that even if they do sack him and whoever then gets put in charge, I guarantee you we lose on Wednesday, we've still got a Fratton Park on fucking Sunday and we're playing 5 at the back. And those players who couldn't even have got the nudges the size of a fucking midgie are going to go into Fratton Park and are going to absolutely cower away and hide. And it would be nice if someone stands up and gets counted about it.
So I will read what he wrote for next week. Blades at home on Wednesday. He then wrote, that lot on Sunday, fuck my life. That's what he wrote on the show notes. That's how you're feeling about it. I'm terrified. Ian joked with me on Sunday when, if you want my ticket, if I gave you my ticket, would you want it? And I went, no. And then I went, I probably fucking would because it's Portsmouth away. But I am fucking terrified. I don't like. I like going into that game going, we're going to batter those fucking Skates. I just don't see. Where the fight comes from.
Let's make this
because Derby days. Random shit happens.
Of course,
right?
It does.
And sometimes the best team doesn't win. Man United, Man City. Right, yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, so that happens. So Derby days are. I've always said that Derby days are like cup finals. Form goes out the fucking window. How you've played for the last 6, 7, or 8 games is largely irrelevant. Same for us, even though we're losing them all. Same for us. Form goes out the window. Right, it's a Derby day. So what happens on a derby day is tensions are high, the atmosphere is loud, it's fucking hostile, players go out on the pitch, it's fiery and it's fighty. And the team that has the most fight and the most passion typically is the one on a derby day that's going to come out on top. We don't have any fight or passion.
No,
we don't have any fight or passion.
I said this to you yesterday. If we what's the word? If we lost yesterday, obviously, if we then, I don't know, by some sort of fucking minor miracle even get a point tomorrow night, but then he goes and wins on Sunday, fans will be like, you know what, we've been shit, but you did that, and then we move on. The Sports Republic have got to look at that, and I say Sports Republic as a whole. Like I said, I do feel kind of sorry for Dragon Solar, but at the end of the day, he's the one who's decided he's putting in charge, so, you know, he's got to do that anyway. So, if they lose on Sunday, those people who are going, oh, well, you know, they've got a bit of a problem, like, we go to Pompey and get humiliated, everyone will be like, no, we're done. Mm-hmm. We're done. And I think it's going to get like that on Wednesday. And we said it before, it wasn't loud enough yesterday. And I haven't been necessarily one that's been, organised and processed. But they need, and I'm not saying that necessarily the ultimate decision from this is to get Sports Republic completely out. But when we do the chants and you do all that sort of stuff, it makes them know how unhappy fans are. So it needs to be fucking louder.
Well, so far, in the last season and a half, every single time the Sports Republic, anti-Sports Republic chants have got fucking loud, they've made a change at management level. So they go, fuck, they want us out, so let's change the manager because clearly we're not doing good enough. So that's what's happened so far, right? That is what's happened so far. And I think that if that doesn't indicate to fans in the stadium that when the fans are loud enough, when we're less soft and less of a pushover and less happy clappers, and we're loud enough about how upset we are, they make a change. And we need to force them to make a change. I will say, however, for me personally, get the fucking Sport Republic pile of shit out of the club. I'm done with it now. It's a 4-year experiment, which is a catastrophic failure. There's been stuff coming out on social media recently about the squad of players that we had 4 years ago. Ralph Hasenhüttl in charge, a squad of players 4 years ago, and that was a squad that was sat mid-table in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And now, 4 years later, you and I are seriously talking about being in a relegation fight in the Championship. They have to go. They have to. And Dragon Solak, I know, I get what you're saying, right? I feel sorry for him because the people underneath him are pissing his money up the wall. Yeah, I agree. He put them in charge. He picked them.
Yeah.
So I don't sympathise because if the team directly below him aren't good enough, get them fucking out.
And the other problem is if we do lose on Sunday, we're not actually home until the 7th of February.
And the truth of the matter is, sorry, just to carry on, the truth of the matter is, if Rasmus Ankersen is still involved in pulling strings, then clearly Dragon Solak has learnt fuck all. So get him out. Get rid of the lot.
Needs to be louder, people. Those chants need to be louder.
I also in the future, and I know it's quite common now, but this is a me preference chat, and I'd love to know what you guys think. We might not have time now, so stick it in the comment section. But I really, really, really cannot fucking abide this multi-club model bullshit.
Oh, I don't like it.
And I feel sorry as fuck for the fans. Is it Strasbourg?
Strasbourg, yeah.
I feel really sorry for them. I do. Because the big club in that multi-club model is Chelsea, and they went, oh, you want your manager? Off he comes. And of course he wasn't going to say no. The owners own both clubs. I hate it. I think it should be banned. I think companies should be allowed to own one football club. I think it should be banned. Honestly, I hate it. I hate multi-club. I can't stand it. I can't stand how many times we spent money over the last 2 or 3 years for the player to fuck off on loan to a different country, and we never see them. Well, why have we bought them? Well, because the club could afford it on their books. So what about us?
Anyway.
Surely we're the biggest club in the multi-club model. Why aren't we profiting from any of it?
I am not going to do a score prediction for Portsmouth because I don't want to.
I refuse to. You can tell us if you want, chat. I refuse to. Anyway, we are a little bit over time, but I don't know if it has truly fully come across how antagonised I feel, how disenfranchised I feel, how just flat fucking fed up I feel. I think Ash is the same. The people that we go with week in, week out are the same. When the goal went in, when Ross Stewart scored, most people around me didn't even cheer or celebrate.
No.
They didn't. They just sort of stood there and went, yeah, cool, brilliant. So, I'm sorry for the language. I am. We're not. If you're new here, it's not normally this bad.
We've got to stop saying that because the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been like it's like watching South Park. It's like,
Oh well, all right. We're an adult podcast now, chat.
Yeah,
it's 8 o'clock at night. Tough. All right.
It's 9:15 now, mate. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah. Well, I got to be back. I got to be back in here at 10 to 8 tomorrow morning.
Oh no. Fuck off. Get a proper job. Anyway, carry on.
Wow. Okay. Well. So there we go. End of the show. Let us know what you think. Like we say always, liking is free and really helps us. After the show is finished, if you stick a comment in the comment section on the on-demand video, that also really helps the algorithm. If we've missed something you've said tonight, you can type something out. I'd love to get your opinions on Sports Republic, on Tondeur, on multi-club models, and just in general what's going on in the club. Maybe as a comment when we finish, just sit and type for a bit how you'd fix it, what you would do, what manager would you like to bring in if you could. Would be a bit realistic, obviously. We're not getting Pep Guardiola coming through the door. But that really helps us. If you put that comment in the comment section, that really, really helps us. To all of you people who have donated some kind of money, whether that's with gifted memberships or super chats, thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you to all the people that are subscribers. Thank you to all the people that turn up. I see a number of names in the chat that turn up every single week, and you're amazing. It makes it very easy for Ash and I to come and do this. And as you can tell, we're one of those channels that likes to sit and watch the chat as it comes through, and we pick up on the comments that you say. And it shapes the podcast. You shape the podcast. So thank you so much for turning up. Do you want to do a rally cry for this week?
I'm not. Do you know what? I feel so. I feel so disconnected with it at the moment, and I thought to myself, I should be doing a really passionate one for that lot. But the problem is, I just know that we're going to go to St Mary's on Wednesday, and it's going to be an absolute shower of shit. Luce is watching this, right? She's going on Wednesday. Good luck, Luce. We'll catch up during the game, so we know fucking football to watch. Jesus.
We'll see. There's
a
a world where we just fucking score 4 goals on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then concede 4 in the second half. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, so no rally cry. So when I tell you now and say, Ash, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Sports Republic out. Up the Saints.
Well, there you go. Up the Saints. Sports Republic aren't fucking Saints, are they? Let's be honest.
No, they're
Up
not.
The Saints.
Fucking
Thank you so much for watching, you wonderful humans. We will be live 8 p.m. after the skate game, unless we've been embarrassed. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching, you wonderful human beings. Hopefully we'll see you next week. If not, we'll see you in the next one.